Look in my eyes. What do you see? Punk's not coming back. Tee-hee. We are just a few hours removed from the return that not many saw coming, and we got to talk about it, Adam. And in particular, you've seen the title, some pretty seemingly serious ramifications from it.
PW Insider reporting that Drew McIntyre stormed out of the ring at the end of the WarGames match that closed the show. They were told that McIntyre stormed into the back, slammed his locker room door, threw on a hoodie, and immediately left the Allstate Arena. They were told as well that it was obvious to everybody involved that McIntyre was angry, but no word yet as to why. It was such a loud and obvious situation, they say, that a lot of people witnessed it, and it's become a subject of conversation over the last hour. Fightful as well, giving us a bit of an update on this, Tom.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre, according to Fightful, was said to have been visibly upset backstage when leaving the venue, slamming the locker room door and cursing as he left. When people close to McIntyre checked on him, he confirmed it was connected to the CM Punk return and that it wasn't part of a work and that he was selling to the back to maintain some professionalism.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because Drew McIntyre, a couple of months ago, was asked about a possible CM Punk WWE return. He gave a pretty by the books answer. He's very media safe as during an interview, isn't he? He didn't say too much, but he did say, I mean, I don't make those decisions regarding that return. I'll watch what I say in interviews, but he's certainly controversial and he gets people talking, so I will leave it at that. I've not heard anything about any especially sort of bad blood between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, but given his comments there, maybe there is something.
Maybe there is, and there's a lot of questions about the locker room's general vibe towards CM Punk. Kind of coming into Survivor Series when this question came up, the idea was, hey, let's make some money. That was kind of the vibe that came from a lot of people. But certainly the reaction when Punk came out in the ring said otherwise. So from what we have gleaned, CM Punk's return was very close quarters, a handful of people, if that, knew. And there is some question marks over whether or not even the wrestlers in the ring knew that it was happening.
It's a weird one. PW Insider initially reporting that even the top talent in the ring didn't know that CM Punk was going to be coming out. Fightful Select reporting that talent in the main event did know about Punk's return ahead of the match. So we'll keep you updated on that one for sure. We don't know the full story yet. Are they continuing this? I mean, what they've done is absolutely amazing. They've worked us spectacularly well. Is this a continuation of that? We saw Seth Rollins being held back by Michael Cole and co. Drew McIntyre has now stormed backstage. Is this part of the story? You know what? I love it. I love it either way because we all love drama. But if it is a work, they're doing so well. It makes Monday Night Raw must-see TV. So many questions to be answered, and it's just so bloody fun, Tom.
Do you know what it is? And I put this on Twitter last night because I didn't do the live reactions with it was yourself and Andrew that was live reacting to this one. So you caught the moment, and I thought your reaction to it, I think, was everybody's just utter silence and shock. What do you say?
I no idea. Literally, like, you know what? And I've been pretty honest about my feelings towards Punk. I'm not a big fan of Phil Brooks, the person, from what I know about him. And that is very, very little because everybody's got something different to say. Everybody's got a very strong opinion on Punk. When Punk came out, I felt it. I really because it's a nostalgia thing at this point. You think back to bloody Money in the Bank 2011. That's what, 12 years ago, sorry. It is a nostalgia thing. It was a very powerful thing, CM Punk coming out yesterday, and I didn't know how to react, but I'm so unbelievably excited about it. Talking about Drew McIntyre, he had some interesting, there was an interesting report about him just prior to Survivor Series. This came out about 8 hours before the show went on the air. PW Insider reporting that Drew and WWE have not had further contract talks at the time, with the company believing that they've still got plenty of time to talk about it. Drew's contract expiring in the spring of 2024. According to the report, McIntyre may be interested in taking some time off to spend with family, and he's willing to let his contract expire.
So with all of that going on, because we know that Drew's situation with WWE has been up in the air ever since WrestleMania, like a elongated absence from TV, apparently due to wanting the right creative and the right money to make it worth his while coming back. And when he did, we assumed all was sorted. But from what we're hearing from behind the scenes, and if it is a case of the guys in the ring weren't told, I kind of get it from Drew's perspective. I kind of get it from all of their perspective, like in the sense that, you know, you're making this big money move. We've just, you know, put our bodies on the line in that match. You're not going to tell us that, you know, we're going to get like overshadowed by this incredible return. You don't trust us enough. And I think it comes back to exactly what you said about how Drew, anytime that we have had the pleasure of chatting to Drew McIntyre with Cultaholic, he's, like you say, he is one of the WWE's best media guys. Yeah. Like, he'll go out in front of anybody and everybody, and he's up for everything. He is a sublime ambassador for WWE. So I'm not trying to predict what's happened here, but if Drew wasn't clued into arguably the biggest play in WWE's year, and he has to watch in the ring as it happens, you probably feel a bit like upset, because where's the trust? Where's the trust in letting me in on that?
I can understand, and this is pure speculation because we don't know, but I can understand if Drew were to be upset with WWE and the way that things have played out. I totally get that. Here's a guy who carried the company amongst others, but he was the focal point throughout the pandemic, this unprecedented time in pro wrestling, this unprecedented time in the world. He was putting the work in all the time, non-stop, down the pecking order, and he hasn't really got back to that top tier. So if he, amongst others, if they weren't clued in, you know what? Randy Orton, I'm sure he doesn't give a single toss because he's Randy Orton. I'd be peeved. I'd be like, what the hell? Year and a half I've been away. Where's my fanfare? All I got was a pop.
Actually, you're right in the sense that Randy Orton wouldn't, because like Randy came out, did his thing, and then there's a great bit of video that's doing the rounds of CM Punk on the ramp doing Randy Orton's pose, and then waves at Randy Orton. Orton, who sat on a chair in the ring, is just smiling and waving back.
He doesn't care. He's so good. I love Randy, but nobody's talking about the unbelievable RKO, something that we've not seen for so long, and an epic one at that. Everybody's talking about Phil Brooks. People getting battered last night, and everybody's talking about Punk. Of course we are. We've got talking about Seth Rollins a moment ago. We've got a bit of an update there. As I mentioned, he was held back by Michael Cole, Corey Graves, referees, personnel. Fightful saying that backstage Seth Rollins was in Gorilla, had to be ushered away by Triple H and Michael Cole as he was looking for CM Punk. They were told that Punk looked confused and it was an awkward scene. Seth Rollins has, of course, been very open about his complete disdain for one CM Punk. He called him a locker room cancer, I believe it was, a few months ago. That felt pretty legit to me. At the same time, he's World Heavyweight Champion. Are they working a program there?
The first thing when I saw Seth Rollins being held back by, you know, ultimate henchman Michael Cole from going for Punk,
undefeated at WrestleMania, Tom.
I mean, there is that. My first thought was, okay, Punk Rollins night one main event WrestleMania. And why not start? And for CM Punk, whose entire run in the last 12 months has been so heavily focused on what's happening away from the ring and what's happening around it, why not do something a little different and lean into it? You know, we got completely caught off guard by Punk returning. I think every respectable reporter and aggregator will say that, yeah, pretty much we didn't call that in a month of Sundays. I love the fact that it caught me out.
Oh, like, man, it's a
in
joy.
This gig, we don't really get caught out by wrestling anymore because it's our job to talk about it. So I don't feel like I've been caught out by wrestling in a long time, and it's nice to be caught out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just really super, super exciting. It's must-see TV. WWE are totally killing it right now. And I still don't know how I feel about Phil Brooks as a person, but CM Punk turns up, the world talks. He's a massive, massive deal. Essentially, right? There's money to be made. Let's do business. That's what it's all about.
A few of the reactions, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, weren't all like the negative ones that we saw at ringside. Fightful saying that Punk was greeted by a few friends when he returned backstage for Survivor Series. There's a wonderful, obviously the fans are over the moon. There's a lovely video of Punk leaving the United Center, just being swamped by people and smiling as he's driving away. Online, there's been some fun reactions. TNT Sports shared a graphic on Twitter that said CM Punk is WWE, and it was the brick wall. It's a trolling so deep. Justin Timberlake should do the voice for it. It's incredible bit of business. Matt Riddle has commented saying, "Hey WWE, you thought I was hard to deal with? Have fun with 0-2 CM Punk."
He's hurt, isn't he?
He's a little bit.
He's lashing out.
But Adam, I think the big question is, Ryback put out a message before Survivor Series saying, if CM Punk returns, I will retire from wrestling. This will be the 47th time Ryback has asked the universes if he should retire, and the 47th time that the universe has said, yes, you should. Ryback has commented on this on Twitter saying, I will not be retiring. He had to return to AEW, and that didn't happen. Thank you for supporting at FMM Nutrition.
There you go. Look at that, right? He's put that bloody feed me more nutrition and everything he's doing. We're talking about it. We're plugging his stupid protein powders, his creatine, whatever it may be. He's working the marks even more than Triple H and CM Punk at this point. Good for him. I like Ryback. I don't care what people say. I like Ryback. I think he's funny. I think he's a troll. I think he's a laugh. And it's great to hear that he will get back in the ring at some point. Sign him, Tony Khan. Make him the devil. Do it. Do it. The opportunity's there. You've got nobody else. Punk's gone now. Who's going to be? Jack Perry. Do it.
Up the Ryback. Check out Punkvember, which hasn't aged like milk, on the podcast feed right now as we look at the rise and fall of CM Punk's entire run in AEW. There is an epilogue version which is 6 hours long. It is a dissertation on CM Punk's entire AEW run. I guess we're doing an epilogue now, so look out for that on the podcast feed very, very soon. Oh, and the podcast feed later today, since we've got the attention of the world with this video, Les Battersby's on the podcast feed later today from Coronation Street.
Plug the Black Friday sale. It's on for like 12 more hours.
Cultaholicshop.com, 50% off. If you were half anticipating CM Punk to come back, go get half off all your favourite Cultaholic merch. Cultaholicshop.com. Get amongst it. And we'll have more wrestling news and more CM Punk news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.